Hey everyone, and welcome to Winter Life for 2020. How exciting! I'm Simeon, and this is Lauren.
Hey everyone.
It's so good to be here. This is the first time we've done this, and it's so good to have a live audience here as well. Lauren, tell us about what we're going to be doing in the next three nights.
Yeah, so welcome to Winter Life, everyone. We've got a bunch of people here. Do you guys want to yell out?
Make some noise.
Who knows if you could actually hear that at home, but welcome to Winter Life. You might be at home, you might be with a group, you might be on site. We are pumped to spend these next 3 nights hanging out. We've got games, we've got music, we're going to be doing some stuff, we're going to be watching some talks. We're going to be thinking about what is the meaning of life. It's huge.
We're going to be asking the big questions. We're games, fun, talks. It's all happening. Now, you might have had a friend that you tried to invite to Winter Life and they couldn't make it tonight. The great thing is we're doing this over 3 nights. So have a ball with us tonight, invite your mates tomorrow night, and it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Now, a few shout-outs.
Yeah, so we have some shout-outs for some groups gathering at home. We've got the Year 7 boys are hanging out, the Year 8 boys are hanging out, Year 11 boys are hanging out.
So good.
Shout out to you guys. Also shout out to almost all the girls groups are here tonight. So that's
a whole bunch of the girls here. Make some noise, girls. They're having fun.
If you are watching at home, you can hit us up on social media. We're going to flood the hashtag WinterLife2020, the numbers 2020. Right now, there are 6 posts on Instagram that are people's random winter things.
We're going to hijack that.
Yeah, we're going to go crazy. So hit us up on Instagram. How else can people know?
Yeah, so coming up on your screen, there should be a little link. It should be bit.ly/winterlife. I'm here. We'd love to know that you're here. Maybe you've stumbled along and you're watching. We'd love to know that you're here. We'd love to connect with you. Fill that out now. Even if you're here in the audience, you can do that. Or if you're at home watching along, fill that out. Let us know you were here. We'd love to connect with you.
Yeah.
Good times.
Hey, Simeon, I'm digging your jumper.
First time wearing it. It's super comfy. In fact, it looks kind of similar to yours.
It's almost as nice as my jumper.
Almost.
Yeah.
They're pretty great.
So here at Winter Life, you can buy a Regenerate hoodie. Chat to your leader if you want to grab one. But we've had a competition running where you can win a Regenerate hoodie, and we have someone who's won one tonight. So we're going to play a video now. I'm going to check that out.
Let's check that.
How good.
That was pretty epic.
That was incredible.
Worthy of a win.
So this hoodie now belongs to Georgie, who is here tonight.
Yeah, give it up for Georgie.
Yeah, pretty close.
Awesome work, Georgie.
If you want to win a Regenerate hoodie, it's not too late to enter. Send a picture, a video. Simeon wants a poem.
I'd love to hear a poem.
Feel free, send that to your leader, and you could win a Regenerate hoodie tomorrow night, Friday night.
Yep. Exciting stuff. Send it in. Now, across our 3 nights together, we're going to be thinking about the meaning of life. We're also going to be thinking through some themes. And tonight we're thinking about what it is to be lost. Now, our boy Pat, he's been on a bit of a journey in the last few days. And we're going to dive in with him and see how he's lost something pretty epic.
Wait. What? Where am I? What is this? What am I doing? What is this?
Pat! Bro, what are you doing?
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm Bailey. I'm in your team, remember?
What team?
Bro, from the game this Saturday. You were amazing.
Oh, I was amazing. What do you mean?
Pat, do you not remember rugby?
Oh, rugby. Yeah, that's like soccer, right?
I must do further investigation on this matter.
It appears as if Pat has lost his memory. He has no knowledge of rugby. I must look further into this. As I researched, I spent hours on that laptop looking at what it could be, and what I found truly shocked me.
It's worse than I thought. Meanwhile,
Yeah!
Pat,
Who are you?
I'm Bailey.
Where do I know you from?
From rugby, Pat.
Okay.
You have amnesia.
Don't call me that.
No, Pat. It means you've lost your memory.
What do you mean? I've lost what?
You've lost your memory. But don't worry. I'm gonna help you find it.
All right, will Pat find his memory? I'm looking forward to seeing part 2 of that tomorrow.
I am stoked. I love these videos more than words can say. We are going to keep going with our theme of Lost, and we're going to play a game. This game you can play if you're at home. If you're watching on YouTube, you can head up in the live chat, comment along. If you're in a group at a home or
Play along,
here
hey?
at church, the challenge is to just yell out. So what we're going to do
What's
is...
the game, Lauren?
Oh, the game is called Lost in a Picture.
Lost in a picture.
Lost in a
Okay,
picture.
okay.
So what we have done is we've got some pictures that have been zoomed way too far in, and you have to guess what the picture is as we slowly zoom out. So we've got 4 kind of strikes, and the 4th picture is the full picture.
All right. I reckon I can do this. Let's
I'm
give it a crack.
stoked. Let's go. First slide is coming up right now.
Ooh.
There we are. Do you know what? I don't think I need to be in this picture, but that's okay. Can anyone guess
some
what it
lines.
is? Guys,
What are you guys seeing? Oh,
it's dusty. We got some lines. We got some
Is that
ladies.
beetle?
What do you think it is?
spaghetti from the crowd?
Okay, we've
I
zoomed
haven't
out a
eaten
bit
anything
further.
that
The
looks
lines
like that.
end into this. We've got some strings, some holes, some... Any guesses? I hope if you're playing at home, someone's guessed
A zebra?
more than we are guessing here. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Ooh, wow.
Wood panels, screws. Guys, what are you feeling? What
Big
is
development,
going
I
on?
feel.
Pineapple. Okay. Last final
I
moment.
think I could guess.
It's a guitar.
Yeah, right. What a great
Yes!
picture. What a great picture.
Gorgeous. Okay,
All right, we're pretty
round
good with
2.
that.
Let's
We got
go.
there.
Again, yell out if you're at home. Get on the live chat. What could this be? We've got orange. We've got black. Carrot. Tiger.
Yeah. Planet?
It's furry. It's
Oh,
ooh,
man, that just-
hello.
that's-
We've got
that's thrown me.
green.
Salad. It's a salad.
What are we feeling?
I don't actually know. I don't eat salads, so
Flower.
flour. Okay. Oh, is that a high heel on the side? No. I think we know what that is.
Green.
It's a southeast Moroccan penguin.
Ah!
No, what are they called?
Flamingos.
Flamingo.
They're gorgeous. Although I feel like
Beautiful flamingo.
they're standing on 2 feet. I don't know. Okay,
Ah, we
next
got that one.
round. Alrighty. Lines, blue.
It's like
Orange, black.
What do you reckon?
What are we thinking?
Is
Anyone
that one of those
have
things
any
you
ideas?
draw on, like architects or cut stuff on? Yeah,
I
look.
hope the live chat is just popping
Oh,
off at this point. Guys, I don't want to get too maths teacher,
water-based
but
to me.
hyperbole, what are we feeling? Exponential graphs? I don't know.
Crowd, what's the crowd thinking right now? What's the crowd thinking at your house? Look.
Next slide.
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh. Intrigue. Blur. Lines. We know it's not a hyperbola anymore because we've got some circles up in here.
All right, we got some kind of field. Awesome.
It's a basketball court.
Basketball court. Woohoo! I love basketball courts that are purple, green. Oops.
Okay, let's do this.
All right, do we have one more?
Next
We've got one
round.
more.
What could this be? We've got white, we've got black, we've got lines, curves.
An apartment.
Any guesses on the floor here?
Liebe helicopter? Helicopter. Maybe. Leave her alone.
Ooh.
I don't know. One of those things you bungee jump out of.
Oh, yeah?
Or
Or is
maybe
it?
it's something you build something with. A crane.
It's
Who
a
guessed
crane. Amazing.
that? I think we saw that coming, that one.
Okay,
Was it-
let's go next round. If you have
We've
not
got one
guessed
more. We've got more.
any
Awesome.
more yet,
This is your chance.
this is
Get in on it.
Huge. Okay, we've got bricks. We've got sand. Anyone? Rocks?
Yeah.
Anna
Yes,
Bay.
that's what I was
Anna
thinking.
Bay.
KO.
Anna KO.
Sand dunes KO.
This looks like a less comfortable sand
There's a
dune
rough
roll.
side to that. Oh, I heard a really good guess.
Intriguing.
The
Those
White House.
bricks look arranged in a very particular way.
That was my guess. The guess was better than that.
Oh, we're getting close.
It looks like a guess I heard. Egypt, pyramids. Is that what we're guessing? Did I just give it away?
Hey!
I heard
it's
a
the
great guess. I was just
Sphinx.
repeating it.
How
Super good.
Okay, next round. Let's go. Okay, we've got blue. We've got lines. They meet at a point. They're not parallel. Butterfly.
Octonauts. Octonauts? Is that what I heard? So I'm reckon.
Opera House.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was a Batman thing. Okay. Oh, wow.
Umbrella.
Yeah, that was well hidden.
That was art.
That's super well hidden.
It was
Okay.
beautiful.
Was that it? Or was there one more?
I think there's one
We've got
more.
one more. All right.
4, 2. Guys, this is a secret code. Add them together, 6, multiply 8. What could this be? Any feels? Oh, a 7.
We've got an orange boxy
Red.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a
Lines,
train.
circles.
A train? Roller coaster. Excellent guess from the field. Oh, wow. I heard a good guess
Huge.
then.
We have
Huge
some
guess.
winners.
Definitely some winners
Ladies here rock at this game.
Horse-drawn carriage in
They're
Istanbul
beautiful.
or equivalent place. Awesome. Well, that was fun.
That was heaps of
That was
fun.
super fun.
We got lost in those pictures, but hey, we made our way out.
We made our way out. Now we're going to take a little bit of a different turn now. And just a few weeks ago, I caught up with Dave Jensen, our speaker. And now we're going to flick to get to know him a little bit better in an interview. And then after that, Dave's going to start speaking to us and open the Bible. And we're going to get into that now. Hey Regenerate, Simeon here. I'm here with Dave Jensen on the lounge. We're going to get to know Dave just for a little bit. Dave, tell us 3 things about yourself that we don't know.
Right, I love the Sydney Roosters. They're the best football team in the world. 2, I was in the Army. I was in the Australian Army for around 10 years. And 3rd, even though I'm speaking about Jesus, with you guys this week and that, I didn't become a Christian. I didn't become a follower of Jesus until I was 28. So it wasn't until I was nearly 30 that actually Jesus became real to me.
Yeah, cool. So before you were a follower of Jesus, Dave, what do you think life was all about?
At the time when I was living it,
Yeah.
I never would have thought about it deliberately. Like I just lived. I didn't think heavily about what's next and what's the meaning. But if I had to summarise it looking back, I'd probably say enjoyment.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? I just wanted to enjoy my life, to be happy, to have fun.
Live in the moment.
Live in the moment,
Yeah.
no matter what that meant, what I would do. For me, that came out, chasing girls, getting drunk, that kind of stuff. But there was even little things, earning money, where I lived. I just wanted satisfaction in my life in any way that I could possibly get it.
Yeah, a common thing.
Very, very common.
Yeah.
Hugely common. Yeah.
So how did that change in the Dave Jensen story?
Two things happened.
Yeah.
One, for the first time ever, I stopped. I stopped and thought about my life. When I was 28, I woke up one day, and from there I just started to think about my life. And if I'm chasing pleasure and enjoyment, is it actually giving me what I want? Is it giving me the satisfaction that I'm desiring? And the answer to that was no. It wasn't. I wasn't miserable, but I wasn't content in life. And two, I called up a bloke I knew who was a Christian, and he explained to me what life was actually all about, what Jesus had said life was all about. And believe it or not, that was actually the opposite of what I had previously thought about Jesus. I thought Jesus said you've got to be religious, you've got to be good, you've got to be holy, you've got to do all the right things, then you'll win God's approval. He explained to me that that wasn't the case at all, that God loved me no matter what I'd done. And the meaning of my life was found in Jesus' death and resurrection for me to make me right with God, not by being a good person, not by being happy. I was just struck by its truth, and I became a Christian when I understood it.
It's awesome to hear that. We're excited to have you speak to us. What are we going to look forward to hearing from you? What are you excited about telling us?
Yeah. I'd love for us all to think about, for you all to think about what your life is actually about. If you had to write it out on a piece of paper, the meaning of my life is, because I think many of us, no matter your age or where you come from or your family, many of us are trying to find it in all manner of places, but the truth is it can only be found in one place, and that's in what Jesus says, who Jesus is, and what Jesus has done. And even if you're not a Christian and you're thinking of tuning in, I'd love to challenge you to tune in, just to get to grips with who Jesus is and what he's done and what it means. So that's what I'm pumped for. I can't wait. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, great. It's great to have you, Dave, and we're looking forward to hearing from you later on.
I want you to try and clear your mind and visualize what I'm going to say. Try and get rid of all the distractions of your week and your day. Don't think about school, your parents, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, any of those things. And just imagine the next few words. I want you to imagine going to the funeral of a loved one. Picture yourself in the car, shutting the door, and walking up to the church. You enter into the church and you realize this is one of those funerals with an open casket, and there's a queue of people all waiting to look inside to say their farewells. You join the queue and you move slowly up to the casket. It's now your turn to look in, and you do so. And as you do so, your breath is taken away because you come face to face with yourself. This is your funeral 3 years from today. You struggle and get control of your senses and go and sit down, grabbing one of those orders of service that you get at funerals. You open it up, and what you see is that there's going to be 3 different speeches. 3 people from your life. 1, someone from school. The second, someone from your family, your mum or your dad, a brother or sister. Third, one of your mates, one of your closest friends. Now, I want you to imagine on this next question in particular, what do you want these people to say? In other words, what kind of life do you want to have lived that other people will reflect on? What kind of life, with the 3 years you have left, if you could accumulate all of it together, what kind of life is it you want to live? You know, I found this an incredibly confronting exercise the first time I heard it. I reckon many of us live our lives as if we're in the middle of a dress rehearsal or a practice. You know, we keep waiting for real life to begin. But the truth is, we have one life, one shot, and this is it. This is not a practice. This is not a training run. This is not a dress rehearsal. You are in the middle of the real thing. So what do you want your life to be about? What is the meaning and purpose of your existence? Are you living your life the right way? Or is it possible that tragically, accidentally, you're doing it wrong? You're on the wrong track. That actually the way you're living your life is completely and utterly back to front. I reckon most of the people that I know, black, white, rich, poor, from every suburb and every state and every country, most people I've ever met believe that living life, meaning in life, is found in achievement. In other words, you matter because of the things that you do. And the truth is, you probably feel that as well. After all, it's what you've been told from childhood. Every teacher you've ever had, all your friends, maybe even your parents. All of us hear constantly, you matter because of the things that you do. If you achieve things, if you succeed at things, then your life will have meaning and purpose. If I live my life the right way, then I will achieve my goals. The problem is, it never really works, does it? When I was at school, I wasn't popular. I was desperate to be liked. So I thought all of my problems, all of the problems I had in my life, my unhappiness, my emptiness, my lack of purpose, all of it was because I didn't have many mates. So I tried desperately to be cool, desperately to be popular. I tried to be good at sport, good at music, to impress other people. But the thing was, no matter how well I did, no matter how many people I impressed, it never changed anything. I was still unhappy, I was still empty, I was still lost. The more I've met people, the more I realise it's not just me. The odds are it's you as well. I've met rich people, poor people, good-looking people, less good-looking people, people from all over the world, all working hard under the belief that if they achieve their goals, they will be happy. And yet all of them, let me take that different, all of us, when we're really honest, all of us will admit that no matter what I've done, no matter what I achieved, no matter how many goals I've succeeded at, I'm still left with the feeling there must be more. Why is that? Well, the Bible makes an incredible claim. The Bible says the reason you can't find your meaning and your purpose in the things that you do is because you were actually created to find it elsewhere. Let me say that again. The reason you can't find meaning in your own achievements is because you were created by God to find it elsewhere. In fact, believe it or not, the Bible says you're not going to find your meaning and your purpose in your life at all. It's only going to be found in the life of Jesus Christ. And what that means is that the only way you'll ever understand your own story, the only way you'll ever understand your own life is if you understand His story. You understand His life. Over the next 3 sessions, we're going to be looking at some of the stories and some of the things that happened to Jesus in one of his biographies in the Bible, written by a guy called Luke. And Luke is a biography about Jesus written by a man called Luke, which details the life and the teachings and the sayings and many of the things that happened to Jesus. Today, in particular, this session, what I want us to really focus on is your life. What does the life of Jesus say about your life? In a moment's time, we're going to have a Bible reading where Jesus answers that question. We have this incredible scene, a scene which is so common it could have happened tomorrow. A big crowd of people surround Jesus. They're asking him heaps and heaps of different questions. When one person asks a question which Jesus answers a little bit differently. So what we're going to do now is listen to that scene and then think and talk about it a little bit more. Check out this reading now.
Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm in Year 12 and I'm going to be doing the Bible reading for us. I'm going to be reading from Luke 12, verse 13 to 21, if you'd like to read along with me. Someone in the crowd said to him, "Teacher, tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." Jesus replied, "Man, who appointed me a judge or an arbiter between you?" Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, "What shall I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God."
So now you've got Jesus. This man comes up to Jesus and asks him this question about an inheritance. Jesus decides, I'm not going to answer that question at all. Instead, I'm going to take this opportunity to teach a bigger lesson, a lesson about life. Listen again to what he says in verse 15. Then he said to them, "Watch out. Be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in abundance of possessions." Now, Jesus doesn't mince words. This isn't difficult for us to understand. Let me repeat what Jesus says. Life doesn't consist in an abundance of possessions. In other words, your life is about more than stuff. But I want you to take hold of the bigger point Jesus is making. It's very, very possible to live life the wrong way. Life doesn't consist of this. What that means is that it's possible to live life upside down, back to front. In fact, let me put it a different way. It's possible to be lost in life. I wonder if you've ever been lost. When I was a kid, my family went to Victoria, which was awful because Victoria is awful. And we went there and we were visiting a mate. And of course, there's nothing to do in Victoria. So we went for a bushwalk. My family don't go camping, never been out bush, anything like that. I was so shocked at seeing all these trees, and everything, that I bolted as soon as we got to the bush. I kept running and running and running. I probably ran for 10 minutes. After a while, though, I stopped. I turned around and it dawned on me. My family weren't with me anymore. In fact, I couldn't even hear them. I waited in that same spot for probably 20, 30 minutes. I was only 12 or 13 years of age, and it became very, very clear that on one of the turn-offs that I'd taken, my family must have gone the other way. I was in the middle of the Victorian bush, completely and utterly lost. I decided to turn around and walk back the way that I'd come, but I couldn't remember the way that I'd come, and I got deeper and deeper and deeper into the bushland. The panic began to go up the back of my spine as it became very, very clear to me that I might not be found. Thankfully, I ended up stumbling into another family. And I remember I was a very, very shy 12-year-old boy. But I went up to them and in the smallest voice I could say, I said, "I'm lost." And they grabbed me and took me to the car park where my family, I'd been lost around 2 or 3 hours, my family were desperately waiting for me. One of them had been sent to call the police to try and find me. Being lost is a terrible and horrible sensation. But here's the thing about it. It's not until things are almost too late that we realise we're lost. At the beginning of it, when we've just started to go the wrong way, well, we have no idea we're going the wrong direction. It's often not until we're at the wrong location that we realise we've gone the wrong way. We don't like to think it's possible to live life the wrong way, do we? Many of us would say, oh, that's very narrow-minded. Just let people live life however they want to do it. But what Jesus says here is no, that's wrong. It's very possible you and I can miss the point of life so completely that we waste it. It's very possible that you can live every single day of your life doing the wrong thing, not doing the very thing you were created for. To explain that point more, Jesus tells the parable we just had read out for us. What's a parable? Well, a parable is a story with a moral meaning behind it. Jesus told these all the times. I love this one. I reckon it's absolutely terrific. Have a look at it again if you've got a Bible, between verse 16 to verse 19. Now, what's happened here is pretty simple, isn't it? You've got a rich man, a farmer. He's achieved his dream. He's got a huge crop. He earns enough money to retire early. No more stress, no more worry. Now, in my experience, in all the places I've lived, the desire to do this, to get a lot of money, to be so wealthy you never have to work again, that's not confined to one group of people, one country or one hemisphere. It's universal. All of us want to live life that way. All of us fantasize about having money so much that we never have to work again. This man has achieved the dream that most of us have. He's accomplished it. He's free, finally, to live life the way that he wants. From the surface, everything seems perfect, doesn't it? But there's a real crunch at the end of this story. Listen to how Jesus ends the parable. Verse 20. I'm going to read this. Check it out. But God said to him, "You fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself?" Oh, even though on the surface everything seems perfect, Jesus says, by living your life this way, the way this man has done it, you're missing the point. Why? Well, it's not that being rich, wanting more stuff and more money and more, just things will never satisfy you, although that's absolutely true. There's no amount of money, there's no amount of stuff that will ever fill the void inside your heart. It's actually that it will never, ever keep its promise. More than that, what Jesus is saying is that you and I and this man were created for far, far more than just accumulating stuff. Listen to how he puts it again in verse 21. Check this out. This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves but is not rich towards God. Now, this is so important. And I do not know what your day, your week, your year has been like. I don't know what your experience of COVID, any of these things have been like. But you've got to understand what Jesus is saying here. Jesus is saying that there is a realm of existence beyond what you and I can see. There's a meaning in your life that is deeper, that is more important than all the stuff and all the reputations and all the opinions and all the money. And he does so by using this weird expression, rich towards God. What does Jesus mean when he says, you've got to be rich towards God? Well, let me tell you what he doesn't mean. He doesn't mean you've got to give money to your local church. It's not about that. It doesn't mean you've got to be really, really religious. You've got to go to church and say your prayers and get baptized. It can't mean those things because Jesus spent much of his time condemning empty sort of financial prosperity and condemning empty religion. So what does he mean? What does Jesus mean when he says the meaning and purpose of your life is found in being rich towards God? Well, thankfully, we know it's not a mystery because Jesus tells us elsewhere. In one of the other biographies written by a guy called Matthew, this guy approaches Jesus. People would come up to Jesus all the time and talk to him, This guy approaches Jesus and he asks him straight, Jesus, what does God want from us? Now listen to what Jesus says in reply. Matthew 22, verse 37. Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and all your soul and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Why is that so significant? Well, because what Jesus says is that the thing that makes your life mean anything is not accomplishment, and it's not achievement, it's not acquirement. It's relationship. You are created to know and be known by others. And not by a dog or a horse, by other people. And that's why isolation during the virus has been so horrible, isn't it? We haven't been able to see people, haven't been able to hang out with people. And that's a punishment worse than death sometimes, isn't it? Being lonely and on your own. But there's an additional part to this you might have missed. Jesus says, love your neighbour as yourself. But what does he say first? Love the Lord your God. What Jesus is saying is that the relationship that matters most in your life is not with your mum or your dad, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your best mate, your school teacher, any of them people. It's your relationship with God. That's what life is about. And that's why no amount of good grades, no amount of success in the sporting field or in the drama world or in music, no amount of success in romance, any of those things singularly or accumulatively together will give you what you want. Because God has made you to know Him. He designed you to know Him. There's an author from Ireland called C.S. Lewis, and he puts it this way. Check it out. Listen to what he says. If I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world. God made you to know Him. And when you think about it, that makes perfect sense. If there is a loving God, a God who cares about life, who cares about you, then it stands to reason that having a relationship with Him, knowing Him truly, is the most important thing about you. It's the centre of what it is to be alive. It means you're not just a bag of bones, a breathing corpse, space dust. There is an extra dimension, a spiritual dimension to your life. And that means it's very possible to succeed in every single thing you put your hand at, and yet fail at the thing that matters most. That's what Jesus means when He says rich towards God. The question is, though, why should you reckon it's true? Why should you believe it? You know, when I was at school, I wasn't a Christian, but I went to a Christian school, and my parents used to take me to youth group, just like Regenerate, you know. And I used to hear about Jesus all the time. Jesus has done this, Jesus has done that. I used to hear about it, but it meant nothing to me. I probably even agreed that it probably happened, but it never meant anything personal to me. I couldn't see the relevance to my life. But when you think about it and understand a little bit more about Jesus, you begin to understand why this isn't just another set of ideas by another philosopher, but this is urgently true for you. You see, Jesus Himself is the best argument for the truthfulness of what He's saying, because not only did He speak about it and offer it, this relationship with God, He demonstrated it. You know, not long after He says these very words, He was executed. He died. And not by accident. He died for you. He died so that the poor way you and I have treated God could be forgiven. He died so you could have the relationship you were made for. Not because you deserve it, even though you don't. And what that means is that at the heart of this crazy universe that we live in, something enormous is going on, something incredible. There is a God who made you, who knows you, who loves you, who wants to know you, who's moved heaven and earth for that to happen. So what do you need to do? Well, over the next couple of sessions, we're going to think a little bit more intently about who Jesus is and what He did and what it means for you. But I want to say something here right from the beginning. All you need to do is say yes to God. This isn't about you becoming a religious person, a better behaved person. God will change those things in you. This is about acknowledging who God is and accepting what He's done for you. Now, the truth is, I've got no idea what's driving you in life. I've got no idea who you are, what your life has looked like, all the adventures you've been on, all the things that have happened to you, all the trauma, all the joy, all the good, all the bad. I don't know where you are seeking your meaning. I don't know where you're trying to find your purpose and your direction. Perhaps like me, it's popularity. Believing that if everyone likes you, then life will be perfect. Perhaps it's romance or getting good grades, maybe becoming what you're not. You know, better at drama, at music, at sport, a desire to be famous. The thing is, I don't know what you're aiming for, but I do know what drives it. What drives it is the belief that when you achieve these things, you will be a better, happier version of yourself. You're not going to have any more problems. But Jesus says, no. If you're living this way, and the odds are you are, you're missing the point of life itself. To live life obsessed with personal achievement is to be lost. Jesus is saying that you've been created for something far better than that. You've been created to know and be known by God. That's the source of meaning. That's the source of everything. And our God has moved heaven and earth to find you, to bring you to himself, to know you. I'm going to close our time now in prayer, but I look forward to continuing our discussion over the next few sessions about who Jesus is and what he's done. Let me pray. Father, thank you so much for Jesus. Thank you so much that he has made it really clear that our meaning and our purpose in life is not found in the things that we do, but it's found in what's been done for us by Jesus on the cross. Lord, I pray for the young men, the young women watching. I pray for your Spirit's work in their hearts, showing them the truth about you, of how good you are and what you've done. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, Dave reminded us that we're all lost and we're looking for meaning. But Jesus came so that we didn't have to stay lost. We're now going to take a moment to stop, to think and to reflect. We're going to hear a piece of music played. And in that time, it's a chance for you to reflect on what you've just heard. You can use your booklet to write down some notes or just listen and use this time to think through what Dave was saying.
From
Hey Regenerate, we're back. We hope that time of reflection was really helpful for you. We have even more opportunities now for you to respond. So if you are watching online, or it's going to come up below, but we have a second response form that you can fill out. We would love you to take an opportunity to reflect further. There are heaps of things you can do in that form, whether that's to get connected with our youth group if you haven't been before, or consider investigating Jesus further or finding out more. There are also opportunities to ask questions or give comments to us, which we'd love to hear from you as well. Yeah, so we're going to take a few moments. Hey, ladies in the crowd, grab your phones out. You're going to go there too.
You can lead the way. That's right.
And so while we do that, we're going to reflect. Simeon and I are going to reflect on what we heard from the talk. So Simeon, what's something you heard?
Yeah, well, it's really stood out to me. Dave was saying how it's actually possible to devote your life to things that don't matter. And I think when we think about that, that's true. So many of us are doing that, and we're pulled in different directions, aren't we, to give our lives to things. But but I think it struck me that we're all doing that.
Yeah.
So easy.
And I think for me, what really hit me was that Jesus is the one who has the authority to say what the meaning of life is. He's created us. He knows us. He's also lived the perfect life. And he died so that we would know God and be known by God. And so actually, we can trust that Jesus says that he wants us to live life to the full. So I hope that was enough time for you to fill out that form, but it's going to stay up online, so keep going.
It'll stay there. It's also in the description, as is the other form. It's great. It's been a great night. I'm so looking forward to tomorrow and hearing about, so we've heard, what it's like to be lost and that Jesus came for those who are lost, but tomorrow we're going to think about the idea of being found. It's been a great night. It's going to be a good night tomorrow.
I have a public apology to make to the Year 10 boys for not shouting them out earlier. Thank you for chucking that on the live comments.
Year 10 boys.
My deepest apologies, Year 10 boys. Love your work.
At the Lynn's, having fun. Awesome stuff.
Don't forget, if you want to win a Regenerate hoodie, make a video, send a photo to your leader. We would love to give away some more hoodies.
We got hoodies to give away, don't we?
We got stacks. We got literally boxes.
It's going to be good.
You can also buy them.
We'd love to get rid of those hoodies. Sell them. I want to sell them. We want to give them away. Give us good reasons to. It's going to be good. Now, if you haven't brought a mate tonight, don't forget they can come tomorrow online with you at home, in a group gathering, or here at church. We'd love to see you and your friends.
Yeah, check in with your leaders as to where you're going tomorrow night and Friday night. If you don't have plans, you're welcome to come to church. There's heaps of seats. You can grab one. We have a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow night.
That's it from us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Woo!